Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, September 12th, 2022. Big show today. NFL and college football recap from the weekend. We'll look ahead to Monday Night Football. Major League Baseball, WNBA Finals, Game 1. Major League Soccer, tennis, NASCAR, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the NFL. We'll recap yesterday's games, and I'll make a pick for the game tonight. So, a lot of interesting results, to say the least, for sure. And we'll get to all of them. So, here we go. Saints over the Falcons, 27-26. New Orleans is 1-0. Atlanta 0-1. Saints come back from 16 down in the fourth quarter. Jameis Winston, 23-34, 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marcus Mariota, 20-33, 215 yards. Bears over the 49ers, 19-10. The Bears are shockingly 1-0. San Francisco's 0-1. Justin Fields, 8-17, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Trey Lance, 13-28, 164 yards, a pick, and 13 for 54 on the ground. Steelers over the Bengals, 23-20 in overtime. Pittsburgh 1-0, Cincinnati 1-0. Or 0-1. Mitch Trubisky, 21-38, 194 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burrow, 33 of 53, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, which is insane. Eagles over the Lions, 38-35. The Eagles are 1-0. Detroit is 0-1. Jalen Hurts, 18-32, 243 yards. Jared Goff, 21-37, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, and Hurts on the ground, 17 of 90. Dolphins over the Patriots, 20-7. Miami's 1-0. New England is 0-1. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 of 33, 270 yards and a touchdown. Mac Jones, 21 of 30, 213 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Ravens over the Jets, 24-9. The Ravens are 1-0. The Jets are 0-1. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 3, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Joe Flacco, 37 of 59, 307 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Commanders over the Jaguars, 28-22. The Commanders are 1-0. Jacksonville's 0-1. Carson Wentz, 27 of 41, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 picks. And Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 42, 275 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Browns over the Panthers, 26-24. The Browns 1-0. Carolina 0-1. Jacoby Brissett, 18 of 34, 147 yards and a touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 16 of 27, 235 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Colts and Texans ended in a 20-20 tie. Both teams are 0-1. Matt Ryan, 32 of 50, 352 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And Davis Mills, 23 of 37, 240 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Giants upset the Titans, 21-20. Giants 1-0. Tennessee 0-1. Daniel Jones, 17 of 21, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And on the ground, 6 of 25. Ryan Tannehill, 20 of 33, 266 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And 2 for 7 on the ground. Vikings over the Packers, 23-7. Vikings 1-0. Green Bay 0-1. Kirk Cousins, 23 of 32, 277 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 34, 195 yards and an interception. Chiefs over the Cardinals, 44-21. Chiefs 1-0, Arizona 0-1. Patrick Mahomes, 30 of 39, 360 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was by far the best quarterback yesterday. Kyler Murray, 22 of 34, 193 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 5 for 29 on the ground. Chargers over the Raiders, 24-19. The Chargers 1-0. Las Vegas 0-1. Justin Herbert, 26 of 34, 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. Derek Carr, 22 of 37, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. And the Buccaneers over the Cowboys, 19-3. The Bucs 1-0. Dallas 0-1. Tom Brady, 18 of 27, 212 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Dak Prescott left the game, and we'll get into that in the next segment. 14 of 29, 134 yards, and a pick. All right, now at 8:15 tonight on ABC and ESPN, you have the Broncos and the Seahawks. What is going to be a surely entertaining game in Seattle with Russell Wilson coming to town with his new team in Week 1. The Seahawks are a 6.5-point underdog. The total is 43.5. For this game, I'm going to take the under. I don't think there's going to be that many points scored in this game. I don't trust the Seahawks quarterbacks. I trust Russell Wilson a lot with the improved, better supporting cast around him. Denver's defense, I think, is going to be good. So give me a slight under on this game. And I also have a tiny edge now on Seattle from a spread standpoint. So for a final score, if I had to guess it, I'd say something in the realm of 24-18. I think it's going to be very close. But who knows? We've seen so many crazy results all weekend in both the NFL and in college. Now move on to college. Speaking of the devil, we will go over the college results from the weekend. Those were the more interesting results to me, if you compare those to the NFL. And honestly, it might not be close. All right, so Friday, Louisville over UCF, 20-14. Louisville 1-1, UCF 1-1. Boise over New Mexico, 31-14. Boise 1-1, New Mexico 1-1. Number 1 Alabama over Texas, 20-19. Bama 2-0, Texas 1-1. Number 3 Ohio State over Arkansas State, 45-12. Ohio State 2-0, Arkansas State 1-1. Number 15 Miami over Southern Miss, 30-7. Miami 2-0, Southern Miss 0-2. Number 16 Arkansas over South Carolina, 44-30. Arkansas 2-0, South Carolina 1-1. Number 23 Wake over Vandy, 45-25. Wake 2-0, Vandy 2-1. Minnesota over Western Illinois, 62-10. Minnesota 2-0, Western 0-2. Duke over Northwestern, 31-23. Duke 2-0, Northwestern 1-1. Penn State over Ohio, 46-10. Penn State 2-0, Ohio 1-1. North Carolina over Georgia State, 35-28. Georgia State drops 0-2. UNC 3-0. UTSA over Army, 41-38 in overtime. UTSA 1-1. Army 0-2. Kansas State over Missouri State, 40-12. Kansas State 22-0. Missouri 1-1. Number 18 NC State over Charleston, 55-3. NC State 2-0. Charleston 0-2. South Alabama over Central Michigan, 38-24. USA 2-0. Central Michigan 0-2. Number 13 Utah over Southern Utah, 73-7. Utah 1-1. Southern Utah 1-1. Temple over Lafayette, 30-14. Temple 1-1. And Lafayette 1-1. Western Michigan over Ball State, 37-30. Western 1-1. Ball State 0-2. Marshall upsets number 8 Notre Dame, 26-21. Marshall 2-0. Notre Dame 0-2. Number 5 Clemson over Furman, 35-12. Clemson 2-0. Furman 1-1. Appalachian State upsets number 6 Texas A&M, 17-14. App State 1-1. Texas A&M 1-1. Number 24 Tennessee over number 17 Pitt, 34-27 in overtime. Tennessee 2-0. Pitt 1-1. Wazoo over number 19 Wisconsin, 17-14. Wazoo 2-0. Wisconsin 1-1. Air Force over Colorado, 41-10. Air Force 2-0. Colorado 0-2. Memphis over Navy, 37-13. Memphis 1-1. Navy 0-2. Cincinnati over Kennesaw State, 63-10. Cincinnati 1-1. Kennesaw 0-2. Maryland over Charlotte, 56-21. Maryland 2-0. Charlotte 0-3. Number 2 Georgia over Stanford, 33-0. Stanford drops to 1-1. Georgia's 2-0. Number 14 Michigan State over Akron, 52-0. Michigan State 2-0. Akron 1-1. Texas Tech upsets number 25 Houston, 33-30 in double overtime. Actually, this wasn't an upset. Texas Tech was favored. Tech's 2-0, Houston 1-1. Cal over UNLV, 20-14. Cal 2-0, UNLV 1-1. Washington over Portland State, 52-6. Washington 2-0, Portland State 0-2. Iowa State over Iowa, 10-7. Iowa State 2-0, Iowa 1-1. Illinois over Virginia, 24-3. Illinois 2-1, UVA 1-1. Purdue over Indiana State, 56-0. Purdue 1-1, Indiana State 1-1. Rutgers over Wagner, 66-7. Rutgers 2-0. Wagner 0-2. Wyoming over Northern Colorado, 33-10. Wyoming 2-1. Northern Colorado 0-2. Eastern Kentucky over Bowling Green, 59-57 in 7 overtimes. Eastern Kentucky 1-1. Bowling Green 0-2. James Madison over Norfolk State, 63-7. James Madison 2-0. Norfolk 0-2. Middle Tennessee upsets Colorado State, 34-19. Middle Tennessee 1-1. Colorado State 0-2. UCLA over Alabama State, 45-7. UCLA 2-0. Alabama State 2-1. Incarnate Word upsets Nevada, 55-41. Incarnate Word 2-0. Nevada 2-1. Kansas upsets West Virginia, 55-42 in overtime. Kansas ends the game on a pick 6. Kansas 2-0. West Virginia 0-2. East Carolina over Old Dominion, 39-21. ECU 1-1. ODU 1-1. Holy Cross over Buffalo, 37-31. Holy Cross 2-0. Buffalo 0-2. Miami of Ohio over Robert Morris, 31-14. Miami of Ohio 1-1. Robert Morris 0-2. FAU over Southeast Louisiana, 42-9. FAU 2-1. Southeast Louisiana 0-2. Liberty over UAB, 21-14. Liberty 2-0. UAB 1-1. Number 7, Oklahoma over Kent State, 33-3. Oklahoma 2-0. Kent 0-2. Number 20, Kentucky over number 12, Florida, 26-16. Kentucky 2-0. Florida 1-1. Number 22, Ole Miss over Syracuse, 59-3. Or Central Arkansas, my bad. Ole Miss 2-0. Central Arkansas 0-2. Syracuse is next. They beat UConn 48-14. Syracuse 2-0. UConn 1-2. Georgia Tech over Western Carolina, 35-17. Georgia Tech 1-1. WCU 1-1. Toledo over UMass, 55-10. Toledo 2-0. UMass 0-2. Weber State over Utah State, 35-7. Weber 2-0. Utah State 1-2. Tulane over Alcorn State, 52-0. Tulane 2-0. Alcorn 0-2. SMU over Lamar, 45-16. SMU 2-0. Lamar 0-2. South Florida over Howard, 42-20. South Florida 1-1. Howard 0-3. Tulsa over Northern Illinois, 38-35. Tulsa 1-1. NIU 1-1. Louisiana over Eastern Michigan, 49-21. UL 2-0. EMU 1-1. Troy over Alabama A&M, 38-17. Troy 1-1. Bama A&M 0-2. Texas State over FIU, 41-12. Texas State 1-1. FIU 1-1. Louisiana Tech over Stephen F. Austin, 52-17. Louisiana Tech 1-1. Stephen F. Austin 1-2. Number 10, USC over Stanford, 41-28. USC 2-0. Stanford 1-1. Number 11, Oklahoma State over Arizona State, 34-17. Oklahoma State 2-0. Arizona State 1-1. Auburn over San Jose State, 24-16. Auburn 2-0. San Jose State 1-1. LSU over Southern, 65-17. LSU 1-1. Southern 1-1. Georgia Southern upsets Nebraska's not ranked, 45-22. Georgia Southern 2-0. Nebraska 1-2. North Texas over Texas Southern, 59-27. North Texas 2-1. Texas Southern 0-2. Rice over McNeese, 52-10. Rice 1-1. McNeese 0-2. Number 4, Michigan over Hawaii, 56-10. Michigan 2-0. Hawaii 0-3. And Hawaii covers the big number. TCU over Tarleton, 59-17. TCU 2-0. Tarleton 1-1. Virginia Tech over Boston College, 27-10. Virginia Tech 1-1. BC 0-2. San Diego State over Idaho State, 38-7. San Diego State 1-1. Idaho State 0-2. Yale Monroe over Nichols, 35-7. Yale Monroe 1-1. Nichols 0-2. Oregon over Eastern Washington, 70-14. Oregon 1-1. Eastern Washington 1-1. Indiana over Idaho, 35-22. Indiana 2-0. Idaho 0-2. UTEP over New Mexico State, 20-13. UTEP 1-2. New Mexico State 0-3. Coastal Carolina over Gardner Webb, 31-27. Coastal 2-0. G-Webb 1-1. Number 21, BYU over number 9, Baylor, 26-20 in double overtime. BYU 2-0, Baylor 1-1. Oregon State over Fresno State, 35-32. Oregon State 2-0, Fresno 1-1. And Mississippi State over Arizona, 39-17. Miss State 2-0 and Arizona 1-1. All right, those were a lot of upsets and a lot of interesting results to say the least. Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results from the weekend, and we'll look ahead to today's window. Friday, Cubs over the Giants 4-2, Pirates over the Cardinals 8-2, Marlins over the Mets 6-3, Orioles over the Red Sox 3-2, Rays over the Yanks 4-2, Phils over the Nats 5-3, Blue Jays over the Rangers 4-3. Astros over the Angels 4-3. Reds over the Brewers 8-2. Guardians over the Twins 7-6. Tigers over the Royals 10-2. Rockies over the D-backs 13-10. Braves over the Mariners 6-4. White Sox over the A's 5-3. And the Padres over the Dodgers 5-4 and 10 on a walk-off single by Jake Cronenworth. Saturday, Yankees over the Rays 10-3. Giants over the Cubs 5-2. White Sox over the A's 10-2. Tigers over the Royals 8-4 and 8. Game called due to rain. Red Sox over the Orioles 17-4. Phils over the Nats 8-5. Mets over the Marlins 11-3. Blue Jays over the Rangers 11-7. Angels over the Astros 6-1. Brewers over the Reds 5-1. Guardians over the Twins 6-4. Cards over the Pirates 7-5. Rocks over the D-backs 4-1. Dodgers over the Padres 8-4. And the Mariners over the Braves 3-1. And today's results. Yesterday. Red Sox over the Royals 1-0. Red Sox 69-72. Baltimore 73-67. Phils over the Nats 7-5. Phils 78-62. Nats 49-92. Cards over the Pirates 4-3. Cards 83-58. Pirates 51-88. Yankees over the Rays 10-4. Yankees 85-56. Rays 78-60. Mets over the Marlins 9-3. Mets 89-52. Miami 57-82. Astros over the Angels 12-4. Astros 61-79. The Angels are that. The Astros are 90-50. Reds lose to the Brewers 7-6. Brewers 75-66. Cincinnati 56-82. Guardians over the Twins 4-1. Guardians 73-65. Minnesota 69-70. Royals over the Tigers 4-0. Royals 57-84. Detroit 54-86. Rangers over the Blue Jays 4-1. The Rangers 16-79. Toronto 68-61. Or 78-61. D-backs over the Rockies 12-6. D-backs 66-73. Colorado 61-80. A's over the White Sox 10-3. White Sox are down to 72-69. Oakland 51-90. Mariners over the Braves 8-7 on a walk-off home run by Eugenio Suarez after the Braves came back from how many down were they? 6 down going into the 9th? 5 down? That's insane. And then the Mariners came back. Means nothing now for Atlanta. Seattle 79-61. Atlanta 87-53. Dodgers over the Padres 11-2. Dodgers 96-43. San Diego 77-64. And the Giants over the Cubs 4-2. The Giants 67-73. The Cubs are 58-82. All right, today's games, doubleheader, 1 o'clock. You have the Rangers at the Marlins. You have Glenn Otto and Trevor Rogers. Part of me wonders if this is supposed to be a game from the first week of the season. The Marlins are minus 130. The Rangers are plus 110. Over under 7.5. Even money. Unders minus 122. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 100. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 164. For this game, I like the over a lot at even money. 6 o'clock, you have the Angels at the Guardians. Reed Detmers and Connor Pilkington. Guardians minus 120. Angels plus 102. Over under 8. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 194. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 160. Guardians run line would be a good one to use in a same game parlay or in any random parlay, but I'm going to go with the over, but I don't feel good about it. Guardians need the game, obviously. 6:30, Astros, Tigers, Framber Valdez, and Eduardo Rodriguez. Astros minus 225, Tigers plus 188, over under 7.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Astros minus 1.5 is minus 114, Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 105. I'm going with the Tigers on the run line plus 1.5 and minus 105. I don't think Eduardo Rodriguez will pitch that bad. Pirates, Reds, Bryce Wilson and Mike Minor. Reds minus 138, Pirates plus 118, over under 9, overs minus 122, unders even money. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 166, Reds minus 1.5 is plus 138. I'm going to go with the First half, over 5.5 total runs at plus 120. 7 o'clock, you have the Rays at the Blue Jays. Huge game in the AL East. Cooper Criswell and Jose Barrios. The winner of this game gets closer to the Yankees in the division. The Blue Jays are minus 156. The Rays are plus 132. Over under 8.5. Over is minus 118. Under is minus 104. Rays plus 1.5 is minus 156. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is plus 130. Tough one. I'm going to go with the juice over at minus 118. A lot of unknowns here. Cubs, Mets, Javier Assad, and Chris Bassett. Mets minus 320, Cubs plus 260, over under 8. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Cubs plus 1.5 is plus 122. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 146. I like the under. I think it's a low-scoring game. Bassett's going to pitch well. Rangers-Marlins game number 2, John Gray and Braxton Garrett. Rangers minus 132, Marlins plus 112, over under 7, minus 110 each way. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 134, Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 162. Tough one. I like the under in this one. I think this is a lower scoring game. The pitchers are better here. 9:30 Dodgers at the Diamondbacks. Tyler Anderson and Ryan Nelson. Dodgers minus 230, D-backs plus 190, over under 9, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 137, D-backs plus 1.5 is plus 114. I'm going with the Diamondbacks run line, but I don't feel good about it. And 9:45, you have the Braves at the Giants. Kyle Wright and Alex Cobb. The Braves are minus 180, the Giants are plus 152, over under 7, overs plus 102, unders minus 124. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 105, Giants plus 1.5 is minus 114. I like the Giants straight up, plus 152. They're 50.5 to win according to ESPN Analytics, and they're an over plus 150 underdog. I love the San Francisco Giants, plus 152. One of my favorite underdog picks of the year. All right, WNBA Finals. We'll recap Game 1 very quickly. It was an interesting game, to say the least, as the Aces come out on top by a score of 67-64. As the Aces take a 1-0 series lead. Aja Wilson, 24 points, 11 boards. Alyssa Thomas, 19 points, 11 boards, and 5 assists for the Connecticut Sun. Game 2 is on Tuesday. We'll preview and pick it on tomorrow's podcast. Major League Soccer. We'll go over the results from the weekend, which were very interesting, to say the least. All right, Friday. Columbus and Montreal tie 2-2. Saturday, Charlotte over NYCFC 1-0. Nashville LA Galaxy 1-1 draw. Red Bulls over New England 2-1. Atlanta over Toronto 4-2. Cincinnati over San Jose 6-0. Philadelphia over Orlando 5-1. Chicago over Miami 3-1. Seattle over Austin 3-0. Dallas over LAFC 2-1. Houston KC 0-0 draw. Colorado over Vancouver 3-1. Salt Lake DC United 0-0 draw. And Portland over Minnesota 1-0. There are games tomorrow and Wednesday, so that's good. So we have Major League Soccer content on the podcast every day this week. That means, because Tuesday games, Wednesday games, Thursday results, and then Friday we look ahead to the weekend. So fun to see Major League Soccer during the week this week. All right, now we'll move on to tennis. We had the U.S. Open come to a close. We'll begin with Friday and work our way to the championships. So semifinal Friday, 3-seed Carlos Alcaraz over 22-seed Francis Tiafoe in 5 sets, and 5-seed Casper Ruud over 27-seed Karen Khachanov in 4 sets. The women's final, 1-seed Iga Swiatek over 5-seed Ons Jabeur in 2 sets. So Iga Swiatek, your winner on the women's side, and predictably so. And on the men's side, 3-seed Carlos Alcaraz over 5-seed Casper Ruud in 4 sets as Alcaraz wins the men's side of the U.S. Open. So, great tournament. It's fun to see some new faces on top sometimes, especially with Alcaraz. He's on the rise for sure. And I don't think we have a big tennis event until the Australian Open in January. So, I love covering tennis on the show. But that was a lot of fun, to say the least. Now I'll move on to NASCAR. We'll recap the results from the weekend. We'll start with the trucks from Kansas. Your winner, John Hunter Nemechek. Second, Carson Hosfar. Third, Ryan Preece. Fourth, Zane Smith. 5. Grant Effinger. 6th. Chandler Smith. 7th. Corey Haim. 8th, Ty Majeski. 9th, Colby Howard. 10th, Christian X. The rest, Parker Kligerman, Matt DiBenedetto, Ben Rhodes, Tyler Anker, Matt Kraft, and Tanner Gray. Brett Holmes, Kez Gralla, Timmy Hill, Stuart Friesen, Derek Krause, Haley Deegan, Dean Thompson, Caden Honeycutt, Chase Prudy, James Wood, Bailey Curry, Jesse Little, Tyler Hill, Blaine Perkins, Lawless Allen, Mason Maggio, Spencer Boyd, Brennan Poole, Armani Williams, and Brett Moffitt. Xfinity from Kansas, your winner, Noah Gragson. Second, Justin Allgaier. Third, Ty Gibbs. Fourth, Brandon Jones. Fifth, Ross Chasen. Sixth, AJ Allmendinger. Seventh, Josh Berry. Eighth, Sam Smith. Ninth, Sam Meyer. 10th, Brett Moffitt. The rest, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Landon Castle, Ryan Sieg, Daniel Hemrick, Riley Herbst, Brandon Brown, Anthony Alfredo, Maya Snyder, Chris Bright, Jeremy Clemens, JJ Yaley, David Starr, Josh Williams, Raja Caruth, Stephon Parsons, Derek Griffith, Howie DiSavino III, Dylan Bassett, Joey Gase, Mason Massey, Garrett Smithley, Ryan Vargas, CJ McLaughlin, Bailey Curry, Jesse Iwuji, Brendan Poole, and Jeb Burton. And the Cup Series results from Kansas. Your winner, Bubba Wallace. Good for him. Second, Denny Hamlin. Third, Chris Bell. Fourth, Alec Bowman. Fifth, Martin Truex Jr. Sixth, William Byron. Seventh, Ross Chasen. Eighth, Kyle Larson. Ninth, Ryan Blaney. 10th, Daniel Suarez. The rest, Chase Elliott, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Chris Boucher, Michael McDowell, Joey Logano, Noah Gragson, Justin Haley, Ty Dillon, Eric Almirola, Cole Custer, Todd Gilliland, Landon Castle, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Cody Ware, J.J. Yaley, Eric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., B.J. McLeod, Harrison Burton, Corey LaJoie, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Riddick, Kevin Harvick. Finishes out the results for Sprint Cup. Or I should just say Cup Series. Sprint Cup's no longer a thing. All right, news and notes for today. It's a lot of stuff to get to for news and notes. We'll start with the big story, especially with the NFL. Dak Prescott expected out 6 to 8 weeks and will likely go on the injury reserve after having surgery on his right thumb. Brutal news for the Dallas Cowboys. That is a game changer in the NFC East. The Eagles are probably celebrating. Not celebrating. You can't celebrate an injury, but like their fans, are probably acting ridiculous over this. But you don't root for the injuries in the league. But the Eagles, to me, now are in the driver's seat in the NFC East, and I'd be absolutely astounded if the Philadelphia Eagles did not win the NFC East. And Jerry Jones obviously says that Prescott will be out for a while. And the other big injury is that TJ Watt thinks it's likely that he has a torn pectoral, which is brutal news for the Steelers. If he's out for the season, that is just absolutely brutal news for them. That's a game changer in their season, even after the big win over Cincinnati. They'll probably just finish with one more win than they would expect. Because without TJ Watt, they have no pass rush. Their defense turns into garbage for the most part. But that's just brutal. Because sometimes he's a one-man defense in Pittsburgh. Reminded me of JJ in Houston when JJ was in his prime. But the Steelers are optimistic it's just partially torn. So we'll see about that. Keenan Allen injured his hamstring and did not return to the game against the Raiders. Mac Jones received x-rays after a back injury in the loss to the Dolphins. T. Higgins was lost for the Bengals due to a concussion. Elijah Mitchell had a knee injury for the 49ers. That was brutal. That came back to bite him. But let's face it, the Bears probably won that game because George Kittle didn't play. If he played, the 49ers probably win because he's their best offensive threat by a mile. Chris Godwin came back but also left the game. We'll see how he is. Michael Thomas suited up for the first time in a long time yesterday. That was good. Dwayne Brown on injury reserve and will miss at least 4 weeks after suffering a shoulder injury. So that is brutal news for the Jets. Jamal Adams to play tonight after breaking his finger on the first day of training camp. Aaron Rodgers says that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL. You could certainly make that argument. Lamar Jackson rejected $250 million as he says he rejected more guaranteed money than initially reported. So that is absolutely crazy of a story. So college football, the big stories. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers out 4 to 6 weeks due to a significant shoulder injury and expected to miss about a month. So bad news over the weekend for quarterbacks in the state of Texas. And if Ewers doesn't get hurt, they win that game. You can't convince me otherwise. That's why Alabama is not number one anymore. And we'll get to the polls in a second. Nebraska fired Scott Frost after its loss to Georgia Southern. 16-31 in 5+ seasons with Nebraska. Just brutal. They thought he was going to turn Nebraska into the golden days. But no, he was bad and he got fired. And here's the poll. And now everyone's saying that Matt Campbell of Iowa State's going to be the next Nebraska coach. And someone said it's a done deal already, which is ridiculous. Boy, is that going to distract Iowa State. So the new AP poll, I'm trying to find it because I want to read it off. Here we go. So number 1 is Georgia, 2 is Alabama, 3 is Michigan. Actually, no, that's a lie. Ohio State's 3, Michigan's 4, Clemson's 5, 6 is Oklahoma, 7 USC, 8 Oklahoma State, 9 Kentucky, 10 Arkansas, 11 is Michigan State, 12 is BYU, 13 Miami, 14 Utah, 15 Tennessee, 16 NC State, 17 Baylor, 18 Florida, 19 Wake, 20 Ole Miss, 21 Texas. They're ranked even after a loss. It's because they of how well they played. 22 Penn State, 23 Pitt, 24 Texas A&M, 25 Oregon. Others receiving votes: Marshall, Cincinnati, App State, Kansas State, North Carolina, Mississippi State, Oregon State, Florida State, Minnesota, Washington State, Notre Dame, Air Force, Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Iowa State, Auburn, Purdue. Dropped from the rankings: Notre Dame, Wisconsin, and Houston. So, honestly, I think Cincinnati should be back in the top 25. I don't think Oregon should be in it because of how bad they were against Georgia. And I don't think Texas should be in it because of the quarterback injury. And honestly, I think Appalachian State got robbed. I think App State should be 25. A&M should be out too because they lost to App State. You could argue Marshall belongs after knocking off Notre Dame. Kansas State, you can make a case for as well. Oregon State, I think, arguably belongs. I would have put them in. I would have put Oregon State in at 25. 24, Cincinnati. 23, App State. I'd put Pitt 22. And then 21, I would put Penn State. So that's what I would have done for the AP poll. So UFC 279, Nate Diaz beat Tony Ferguson via 4th round choke. That comes to no surprise. We'll get into baseball now. Wilmer Flores and the Giants agree on a 2-year extension with mutual options for 2025. So that's smart for the Giants, extending up a role player. The Phillies are eyeing Xander Bogaerts. If Bogaerts declines his player option for 23, Phillies will be eager suitors. I like that fit for Philadelphia. And I think Bogaerts fits well with Philadelphia with a lot of players that are sort of limited defensively. But from a position of need standpoint, I like it for Philly. The LA Times owner eyeing Angels bid as billionaire Patrick Soon considering to buy the Angels. So that's really interesting. You got to keep an eye on that one. Aaron Hicks was pulled from the game on Friday night for 2 terrible miscues in center field, and one of them where he thought the ball was foul rather than fair, and he just stood there and watched the ball, and he realized he screwed up. And he got booed off the field, and then next inning comes around, Estevan Florial replaces him. So Aaron Hicks hasn't seen the field since then. The Yankees killed it in those last 2 games. Here's some good news. Anthony Rizzo cleared for activity as he resumes baseball activities yesterday after getting a blood patch to recover from epidural injection. So that's good news. They're getting him back soon. Apparently DJ LeMahieu's going to be back apparently next week. They're going to get Zach Britton and Aroldis Chapman back apparently soon. Giancarlo Stanton's back, starting to hit again. So Yankees getting healthy perhaps at the right time, and maybe that collapse was all because of injuries. We'll find out come playoff time for sure. White Sox manager Tony La Russa says he's uncertain whether he'll return to the team amid medical issues, so gotta keep an eye on that. Albert Pujols passes Alex Rodriguez and moves into 4th place all-time in the 9th inning yesterday. So he has 697, so he's almost at 700. Cubs designated hitter Framil Reyes sings, "I will always love you" in game, and now is so funny. Tommy Pham hyped for fantasy football as he rushed to the dugout to check on his guys. He goes, "Gotta see if Michael Thomas went off." That's funny. Blue Jackets winger Patrick Laine showed up at the Bengals game looking fresh. So that's interesting. Starling Marte to the 10-day injured list with the finger fracture. That's brutal news for the Mets. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Jazz Chisholm out for the year as the Marlins decided to now rush him back from the stress fracture in his back. So that's the right thing if you're the Marlins. They're trying to lose. They're trying to tank for the draft pick. Blake Trinan to the injured list with shoulder tightness. So that is not good news for the Dodgers. Hopefully he's back for October. And Shohei Ohtani exits early on Saturday against the Astros with an apparent blister between innings. So that's not great. The Mets call up Mark Vientos from AAA in the wake of the Starling Marte injury. And the Players Association in the league finalized the card check as minor leaguers represented by Major League Baseball Players Association will present union authorization cards next week, setting up the CBA negotiation. So we'll keep an eye on that. And some NBA stuff. Steph Curry says that the Warriors considered a Kevin Durant reunion and would have welcomed him back. That's according to Rolling Stone. So that's very interesting. Mavs owner Mark Cuban says that his team might rest players or not participate in NBA in-season tournament. That's interesting. I guess he was against that. And Russell Westbrook very open to trade as he hasn't asked the Lakers for a trade but remains open to being moved. So we'll see if he gets moved or not. All right, last but not least, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I knew News and Notes was going to be long today because we had a lot of NFL injuries to discuss and some college news, obviously with the Scott Foss firing, and even baseball with some of the players going on the injured list for some contenders. So best bet, I'm going to lay a half unit today on a total I really liked. And that was the over 7.5 in the Rangers-Marlins game 1. I just think that Glenn Otto stinks. I know I took the over against Glenn Otto recently and it didn't work out. The Astros just couldn't score a freaking run off of Glenn Otto for some reason. But I'm doing it again here. Trevor Rogers isn't great shakes either. Like a half unit on over 7.5 between the Rangers and the Marlins for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping Monday Night Football between the Broncos and the Seahawks. We'll have NFL Power Rankings on tomorrow's show. I think we have some primaries to talk about tomorrow as well. And then we have baseball. We have News and Notes, Best Bet, and Major League Soccer, WNBA Finals Game 2 as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.